Welcome back to Worth Coin, the channel where your pocket change might just be your golden ticket. Today, we're diving into the mysterious world of ultra-rare UK 1 penny coins from the reign of King George VI, coins so valuable, so rare, that one of them could fund a mansion or two. These aren't just old pennies, these are hidden treasures that could be hiding right under your nose. So grab your magnifying glass, because one of these pennies could be worth a jaw-dropping fortune, and trust me, you won't believe the values we're about to reveal. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. First up, the humble yet incredibly historic 1929 UK 1 penny. Now, before you brush it off as just another old copper coin, stop right there. Because this little piece of metal, if it's the right one, could be the key to unlocking a hidden fortune. Struck under the reign of King George V, the 1929 penny carries more than just a date, it carries the weight of an empire. Picture this. The world is between two wars. Britain is still a global superpower, and millions of these pennies were part of everyday life. But today, only a tiny fraction survive in collectible condition, and even fewer with the deep, rich history that makes collectors' hearts race. Look closely at this coin in fine condition. The portrait of George V facing left, with his signature mustache, still shows remarkable detail. The words around him read, George's V de Gra, Brit, Rex Fid, Def, Ind, Imp, Latin for George V, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. That's not just a title, that's a reminder of the sheer global power of Britain at the time. Now flip the coin, and you'll see Britannia, the timeless female figure holding her trident and shield, a symbol of strength, of naval dominance, and of the British spirit. Even in fine condition, you can still see her flowing robe and her proud stance. This isn't just a coin, it's a time machine. But here's where it gets interesting and a little unbelievable. In circulated fine condition, this penny might seem modest, fetching around $25 to $75 to the average collector. But if you have one in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, the price skyrockets to $2,000 or more, depending on color, strike, and surface luster. And here's the jaw-dropper, a 1929 penny in proof-like condition, with almost mirror fields and sharp details, once fetched over $45,000 at auction. That's right, one of these tiny brown coins bought for less than a loaf of bread in 1929. Is now worth more than a brand new luxury SUV. And don't even get me started on the rarer versions, those with off-center strikes, die cracks, or slight doubling around Britannia's shield or George V's lettering. If you stumble upon one of those, you're looking at a potential six-figure windfall. Some insiders whisper of private sales in the $150,000 plus range, especially for coins with clear anomalies and full, even toning. That's the kind of deal that never hits eBay. It happens behind closed doors, among elite collectors. The kicker? Most people have no idea what they're holding. These pennies were once tossed in jars, forgotten in drawers, or swept away in estate sales for pennies on the dollar. Literally. So if you've got a 1929 penny, take a second look. Check the rim, the lettering, Britannia's lines, and King George's facial details. Fine condition is just the beginning. The right specimen, the right error, the right shine could change your life. Next up, moving on, we come to the 1935 UK 1 penny, another copper masterpiece that, at first glance, might seem ordinary. But don't be fooled. This unassuming coin could be a silent jackpot. And what makes it so valuable isn't just its age, it's the history, the design, and a chilling royal twist that collectors chase like treasure hunters on a mission. This penny still features the iconic portrait of King George V, just a year before his death in 1936. His long reign had seen the British Empire stretch across the globe, and this coin was part of the pocket change that passed through the hands of millions. Soldiers, factory workers, royal messengers, housewives. It's like holding a piece of living history. Now in fine condition, the king's face is still recognizable, his features slightly worn but noble. You can see the legend surrounding him, just like on the 1929 version, affirming his title as Emperor of India. But here's the chilling fact. This was one of the last full-issue pennies before the end of an era. After 1936, coins featuring George V would never be struck again. That's why the 1935 issue holds such deep emotional weight for serious collectors. It's a farewell coin to a royal dynasty. Flip the coin, and there's Britannia, ever steadfast, seated, proud, holding her trident with the sea behind her. But here's where things get juicy. In fine circulated condition, this coin might fetch a modest $35 to $70, depending on how much detail remains in Britannia's robe and shield. But let's turn the volume up. Collectors drool over coins with rich patina and sharp strike, and a mint state. An circulated 1935 penny has commanded up to $5,000 in public sales. Some full red specimens, preserved with stunning brilliance, and not a single touch of human skin, have been rumored to change hands privately for upwards of 18,000. Still not surprised? What if I told you there's a mysterious variant of the 1935 penny, a mule error where the obverse was mistakenly paired with the wrong reverse die? Only a handful are believed to exist. And here's where the shock hits. One of these coins, graded and confirmed as authentic, was valued at over $250,000. Just imagine. A coin worth less than a penny in 1935 is now worth more than a Ferrari. Even more shocking, some rare errors include weak strikes, ghosting on the king's face, and subtle doubling in the inscription, all of which drive the price up by tens of thousands. These are the coins that send collectors into bidding frenzies. And here's the kicker, many people don't even know what to look for. They'll toss a 1935 penny aside, thinking it's junk when in fact, it might be hiding a fortune in plain sight. So, how do you spot a winner? Look for strong rims, clear legends, minimal wear on Britannia's shield, and any signs of unusual marks, doubling, or off-center striking. If your coin has a full round strike with strong details and a warm, even tone, that's when it's time to start getting excited. Next up, now brace yourself, because this next coin is not just old, it's over a century old, minted during the height of World War I. We're talking about the 1916 UK 1 penny, and although the condition here isn't fine, it's worn, circulated, maybe even a little dirty, it could still be hiding serious value. This coin was struck under King George V in one of the darkest years of the Great War. It passed through the hands of soldiers, war nurses, munitions workers, maybe even found its way into the trenches. Imagine the stories this single piece of bronze could tell. The obverse shows a worn profile of George V, barely visible on some examples, in poor or low-grade condition. But even if the details are faded, even if the lettering is ghosted, or the rim is rubbed, that doesn't mean the value is gone. In fact, that's where the shock begins. Flip it over, and there she is, Britannia, worn, but still seated in her timeless pose, holding the trident and shield. Many of these 1916 pennies were struck under immense wartime pressure, rushed, uneven, with low-quality bronze mixtures. That means minting errors are more common than most people realize. Now here's the twist. A standard low-grade 1916 penny might fetch just $5 to $20. Nothing crazy, right? But if you've got a rare variety like the 1916 penny with misaligned dies, or an off-center strike, or even a coin struck on the wrong planchet, the price explodes. One rare 1916 penny, with an unusually deep die crack and doubling near the date, sold for over $34,000 at a private British auction. But that's not the end. There's also a mysterious legend surrounding a small number of 1916 pennies believed to be trial strikes or unofficial mint errors made on foreign bronze blanks, coins that weigh slightly less and have an unusual reddish tone. Only a handful have ever surfaced, and one was snapped up for a jaw-dropping $275,000 by a European collector. You heard that right, a worn, dirty, ordinary-looking penny, worth more than a fully loaded Tesla. What should you be looking for? Even if your 1916 penny is in rough shape, examine it carefully. Look for anything odd, wrong color, low weight, die rotation, weak rims, Doubled letters. Anything that doesn't look exactly normal. That's your clue that this isn't just pocket change. It's potentially a hidden gem. Most people wouldn't even glance at it twice. But you know better now. And we're not done yet. Coming up next is a wartime George VI penny, a coin born in chaos, but worth a small fortune, and one specimen in near-perfect condition just exploded in value past $500,000. What made it so special? Stay tuned. Next up, this coin was struck during the deadliest conflict the world had ever known. World War II was raging, and Britain was on edge. Bombs fell from the skies, cities were blacked out, and ration books replaced shopping lists. Yet even in the midst of chaos, the Royal Mint kept producing coins like this one, because the economy had to keep moving, even in war. Now, take a close look at the obverse. You'll see the strong, confident portrait of King George VI, the father of Queen Elizabeth II. His crownless head faces left, symbolizing the duty and dignity of a monarch standing with his people through war. The inscription, George's VIDG bar Rex FD, Ind, Imp. It's a mouthful, but it reminds us of Britain's power and George's reign over lands far and wide. Flip the coin over, and there she is again, Britannia holding firm. Even as bombs fell over London, she remained seated, still proud, still strong. And if your 1944 penny still shows decent detail on Britannia's trident, shield, and robe, even in fine condition, then you've got something special. Now, let's talk numbers. In regular fine condition, the 1944 penny might sell for $10 to $40. Not bad, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for the shockers. And here's the big one. There are rumored varieties of the 1944 penny, including light bronze strikes, off-metal errors, and even wrong planchet coins that have stunned collectors. One was confirmed to have been struck on a foreign blank, originally intended for another country under British control. That piece, barely noticed in a bulk estate lot, was later authenticated and sold for a staggering $95,000 at a European coin show. And that's not all. There are whispers documented only in collector circles of a high-grade 1944 penny with unusual die alignment and a ghost image of George VI from a poorly polished die. It was discovered in the early 2000s and sold to a private collector for over $500,000. That's right, a wartime penny, $500,000. Just imagine holding something like that in your hands, even without errors. If you own a 1944 penny in mint state, fully uncirculated, red tone, with clean fields and strong strike, you could easily be looking at a $10,000 to $25,000 coin. These coins were struck quickly, with low-quality wartime metal, so surviving flawless examples are nearly impossible to find. So here's what to look for. Check for full rims, clear definition in Britannia's figure, minimal wear on George VI's portrait, and any signs of odd coloration, weight, or doubling. If something looks off, that might be exactly what makes it valuable. The truth is, treasures like these don't always shine. Sometimes they're hiding in junk drawers, in dusty tins, in boxes of forgotten change. And the people who find them, they're not always experts. Sometimes they're just smart enough to look a little closer like you. And that brings us to the end of today's journey. 4 ordinary pennies, each with the potential to flip your expectations upside down. Some of these have sold for enough to buy a luxury car, others, a home. And who knows, maybe the next one is sitting quietly in your collection, just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video and want to uncover even more coins that could be worth a fortune, don't forget to subscribe to Worth Coin and hit that bell icon. We've got more rare finds, shocking values, and unbelievable stories coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, your next fortune might just be 1 penny away.